Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take the information you need, sort of distill it down, and pull out the key insights.
All tailored for you, the learner, right? To help you get up to speed quickly.
Exactly. It's like a shortcut to understanding without getting totally bogged down.
So today's mission, it digs into something a lot of people grapple with. How to move from just knowing English to actually speaking it, well, naturally.
Right.
We're looking at a YouTube transcript you shared. It's from the English class. And the title is How to Speak English Naturally, Fluency Secrets.
And yeah, this source, it jumps right into that feeling, that frustration. Maybe you felt it, where you learn the rules, you memorize the words, but actually using it, something's off. The transcript introduces this guy, Ravi. His story really sets the stage for why we're doing this deep dive.
It really does. Because the core problem is clear. Just knowing stuff isn't the same as fluency.
It's like having all the parts, but not knowing how to build the thing.
Yeah, exactly. So Ravi, he started up very methodically. Got that Speak English in 30 Days book.
Ah, the classic promise.
Right. And he really put the work in. Reading, grammar rules, memorizing vocabulary lists, taking notes, repetition, all that stuff.
Diligent student mode.
Totally. And after a week, he felt pretty good. 100 grammar rules down.
That's impressive dedication, actually.
Then another 200 words the next week. He must have felt like, okay, I'm getting this.
Yeah, ticking those boxes, feeling that progress.
But then the real world test. A tourist asks for directions.
Oh, boy.
And Ravi, despite all that knowledge, he just froze. Couldn't speak.
Ugh, that feeling, your brain just glitches. It's awful.
Yeah. And Ravi's big question, the one he asks himself is, I know English, but I cannot speak.
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong with me?
And that question, that's really the heart of what we want to unpack for you today, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Because that gap, that disconnect between knowing and doing, it's probably the biggest hurdle.
So how do we bridge that gap? What does the source suggest?
Well, the transcript argues the key is shifting from passive learning, just taking information in, to much more active practice.
Okay.
And the first practical idea Ravi tried gets right at this. Recording yourself.
Yeah.
Just talking. Randomly.
Right. So after that tourist encounter, Ravi realized he needed something different. He just started talking out loud about anything.
Pretty much his day, what he saw outside, whatever popped into his head. Not scripted.
Okay. And the benefit was?
The power of hearing yourself objectively. When he listened back, it wasn't about grading grammar. It was about noticing his actual speaking habits.
Like his speed, pauses.
Exactly. Speed, hesitation, those little connecting words at, in, to that he kept forgetting.
The glue words, they make such a difference in sounding natural.
They really do. So the insight here is you kind of have to become your own coach by listening to yourself.
Hearing your own voice with fresh ears.
Precisely. The transcript stresses the goal isn't perfection, it's flow. And this random talking, it forces you to think more directly in English rather than translating everything in your head first.
Which slows you down so much.
Exactly. It bypasses that whole planning stage. It's almost like how babies learn, isn't it? Exploring sounds without rules first.
Yeah, that makes sense. Less structure, more just do it.
So a really concrete first step for you listening, grab your phone, hit record, talk for a minute about your day, your pet, whatever. Don't sweat the mistakes.
Okay, that sounds doable. Less pressure. So from talking to yourself, where did Ravi go next? What's tip 2?
Tip 2 involves engaging with the world, but silently at first, practicing silent conversations in public.
Silent conversations. Okay, tell me more. That sounds intriguing.
It does sound a bit strange, maybe. But look about it. You're on the bus, in a queue at the market. Ravi would look at someone nearby and just mentally play out a short conversation.
Like actually thinking the words.
Yeah. Simple stuff. Hi, is this seat taken? Then imagine a reply. Then his next line. Oh, thanks. I'm just learning English, trying to practice. A whole little exchange, but all in his head.
Okay, I get it. It's like a mental rehearsal.
Exactly. The insight is that this mental practice builds conversational muscle memory. Like athletes visualizing their performance.
Right, they run through it in their minds first.
This does the same for speaking. It helps your brain get faster at forming sentences in English, sort of automatically.
So when a real conversation happens, your brain isn't starting cold, it's warmed up.
Precisely. The transcript puts it nicely. Your mouth speaks only when your mind is ready.
That's a great line.
And it's practice you can do anywhere. Totally unnoticed, but really effective.
Okay, mental rehearsals. Makes sense. What's the third technique?
Tip 3 moves into active interaction with media. using response drills while watching things.
Response drills, so not just passively watching a movie or video.
Right, it's about making it interactive, even though you're alone. The idea is you watch something in English, maybe a YouTube video or a film,
Okay.
and after a character says something, you pause it. And you immediately respond out loud, as if you were actually in that conversation.
So if someone says, I had a really bad day.
You jump in with, oh really, what happened?
Yeah.
Or, oh no, tell me about it. Whatever feels natural.
So it's not shadowing, not just repeating, it's generating your own response.
Exactly. That's the key difference.
Yeah.
It forces you to think and react quickly in English, simulating that real-time conversation pressure.
That sounds like a really smart way to practice thinking on your feet in English.
It really builds those faster, more natural reactions. Okay, moving on. Tip 4 brings in music.
Interesting. How does music help with speaking naturally? It's not just about vocabulary or grammar here, is it?
No, this is about the sound of English, the rhythm, the intonation, the ups and downs. The transcript calls it the music of the language.
Okay, so how did Ravi use music?
He picked slower, maybe more emotional English songs. He listened to just one line,
Right.
pause it,
Right.
and then sort of sing it back. Not like trying to win a singing contest,
Okay.
but just to mimic the melody, the musicality of how the words were delivered.
To absorb the rhythm. The source mentioned a specific line, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm only human after all. You feel the stress, the flow. By copying that music, your own speaking starts to sound less robotic, more alive, more, well, natural.
I like that. Using something enjoyable like music, but focusing specifically on the sound patterns.
Okay.
Okay, what's the fifth and final tip?
The last one, tip 5, is about making English feel more like your own. Create your own catchphrases.
Catchphrases, like personal taglines.
Sort of. It means adopting a few English phrases you really like, things you hear native speakers say, and actually using them regularly yourself.
Okay, like the examples in the source. Let's roll, or sounds like a plan.
Exactly. Or maybe, you're not serious, are you? Things that add a bit of personality.
Right, stuff you'd naturally use in your own language.
That's the point. It helps you personalize English. It makes it sound less like you're reading from a textbook and more like you're genuinely expressing yourself.
It connects to identity then.
Yeah, the transcript makes that connection explicit. Fluency isn't just speed. It's also about developing your English identity, finding your new voice in the language.
That's a really cool idea, making it your own.
And the payoff for Ravi, after putting all these maybe seemingly small techniques together.
What happened a year later?
The transcript describes him meeting another tourist. But this time, he has a confident, natural 10-minute conversation.
Wow. That's a huge transformation from freezing up.
Absolutely huge. It just drives home the main point, really.
Which is?
That speaking English naturally comes from, well, living with the language, actively engaging with it in different ways, not just studying rules and lists.
Moving beyond just being a student.
Yes.
Yes.
The source encourages you, the listener, to start seeing yourself and acting more like a speaker.
Right. It's a mindset shift as much as anything.
Yeah.
So wrapping this up, the journey Ravi took, using these 5 quite practical tips recording himself, silent conversations, response drills, using music for intonation, and adopting catchphrases, it really shifted things for him.
It did. It made English less of an academic subject and more of a living tool.
So as a final thought for you listening, reflecting on all this, maybe consider how just trying one of these techniques might start to change how you feel about speaking English. You know, what's one small active thing you could weave into your day? Maybe that silent conversation on the train tomorrow.
It's about those small, consistent actions, isn't it? Turning knowledge into actual natural speech.